Of it. Has it come as a surprise to you?
Well, it did come as a surprise to me, fellas. I was driving home this afternoon and it came on the radio. One thing I will say about the Raw, they kept it in-house very well. It was a bit of a shock. Perhaps if we all take our cynical view away from it all, perhaps maybe it is just what it seems. And Rado decided that this is not the role for him. And I know when he was working under Ange, he did a lot of the analysis of other teams and structures and things like that. And perhaps he's just seen that as more the role for him than the head coach job.
Nick, the Brisbane Roar have worded it as Rado has been elevated to technical director. Is that how you think he would see it, or would it be seen as more of a demotion?
Oh, I think that's a bit of political correct speak too. I don't know if it's one of the two, or maybe it's just a sideways movement. I mean, it's for the Backley Group, which is obviously a large football group with clubs in a number of countries. So I think they're looking at it that way. I know Rado's always been fairly passionate about the youth development side of things. And I honestly think that it takes a special person to be a head coach. You've got to have a certain side to your personality, and perhaps, that just wasn't Rado's way. You certainly have to be very strong and strict in certain areas, and perhaps he's ideally suited to being an overseer on technical side of things, or as an assistant, because to be a number one coach it's a fairly lonely job.
High-pressure job too, as we saw at Sydney FC. Sitting around the bottom of the table is a difficult thing. Probably on a hiding to nothing, really, taking over from Ange, from the Premiers, and trying to continue that ride when he hasn't been in that role before. So do you feel as though, just reading between the lines, Nick, that Rado himself would be somewhat relieved by this situation?
Yeah, I reckon he'll probably sleep pretty well tonight. I think he's had a pretty tough time of it. Probably the one shining light was the 5-0 over Melbourne victory, but he's had some tough times apart from that. And, perhaps now taking a look back at it, he's looked like there was a bit of a burden there. And, look, I think from what I've read and from what I've heard speaking to people this evening is he's on board with this. So perhaps he may be a nice restful sleep for him tonight, and he may look to the future and think, well, this is where my part in the game belongs.
Okay,
this is what I can offer to the